Hello, everybody. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. There we go. That's the right preset. Hello, everybody. There'll be a little bit of delay. Oh, look at all these people in the chat. What's going on? Hey, Takaya. Yeah, sorry about that earlier. I started the stream and then realized I had muted the music. And so it was 5 straight minutes of complete silence, which I think is very funny. Thank you for calling me out on that, Takaya. Hopefully the music helped it make a little bit more sense. What's up, David? What's up, Grant? How's everybody doing? It is Tuesday. Do you remember the 21st night of September? Because that is today. Yeah, it's funny. It's very auspicious because it's Tuesday, which is the day I would normally do for adventure prep. On Friday, I have a session coming up that I desperately need to prep for. It also happens to be the day that the Wild Beyond the Witchlight, the Feywild themed 5th edition adventure comes out. And even weirder, in the game I am running where we're going to use this adventure, they're celebrating a festival that I called Autumn's Eve, meaning it's the day before autumn. And today is the first day of autumn. So it is especially all the stars have aligned in a very fairy tale way, which I suppose is extremely appropriate considering what we're talking about. Welcome, everybody. It is the Adventure Prep stream. Today we're going to look at, I think, the first chapter, maybe the second chapter of Wild Beyond the Witchlight, and we're going to see what I need to do to adapt it for my campaign. So if you're just tuning in, I am running, as one of my professional games, I am running a Feywild-themed adventure styled on the Wild Beyond the Witchlight. And I, for some reason, thought, when I proposed it to my players, that the adventure was already out. And no, it was several weeks away from coming out. Yeah, it's great timing for today's stream. It was bad timing for me when I proposed it, because we said, great, and then let's play next week, and let's do a session 0. And then I went to go look at the thing, and it was coming out September 21st. And I was like, oh no, we've already agreed to it. That's what we're going to do. So I had to come up with a kind of session 0 framework, and I had to do some work to make it, to kind of build up to it. I knew the broad strokes that this carnival comes along, and it whisks you out for the Feywild, and anything you could learn on D&D Beyond or any of the interviews with the creators, I had absorbed, but I for some reason thought it was already out, and it's not. It came out today. So now I have the session on Friday when we will definitely be running into some of this content, and I need to read about it because I'm going to need to know. Great. The other trick, though, is that because I didn't understand exactly the framing of the adventure and stuff, we came up with our own stuff. I think it was a couple streams ago, actually. We did some session 0 for it. And I think what we came up with is a little bit cooler than what I've kind of read so far. So don't tell wizards. But so a big challenge for today's stream is going to be trying to find a way to blend those two ideas. What did we work on 2 streams ago? Or what did we work on last time? What have we established with the party? How do we take that story and kind of seamlessly meld it into the story that they're going to give us here? Great, so it might be a lot of just reading today, but I'll try to. We have a couple of objectives that I have here, which we'll go over. But first, let's talk about the differences and the kind of first session we've done and the plot summary of the campaign I'm working on, and how it might differ from what we're about to read. So in my version of Wild Beyond the Witchlight, which I am calling Wild Green Yonder, all the players are residents of the town of Greencrest, and they begin the campaign as children. Tasked with performing a strange ritual. They invite the Witchlight Carnival to visit their town from the Feywild. They're in town for one night, and then when the carnival leaves the next morning, they discover that their parents, the players' parents, have all swapped with various people that work the carnival hands. And the task now becomes to follow the carnival back into the Feywild, right, and to rescue their parents. So kind of a Coraline, Portal fantasy was sort of the idea. With making them kids, what I wanted to do was kind of a reverse Narnia, where they start off as children, and when they go through the portal into the Feywild, they're kind of turned into their idealized selves. So then they become these adult adventurers, still kind of with a kid's mind and a kid's priority, right? But they have, they are as cool and tough and strong and powerful as they want to be. And at that point, they become full-fledged characters. So currently they're kind of playing level 0 characters. They have some skills and their ability scores are pretty much the same, but they don't have any spells, and they don't have any attack powers or any gear or weapons or whatever. When they step through the portal, they just kind of mystically will get, whatever kind of cool loadout they would imagine, right? So one of the characters is Rogue. And so I imagine when they step through, they're going to be all in the black leather with the throwing knives and the kind of classic prototypical rogue. Really, whatever they want to describe. But yeah, so let's talk about our characters really quick. We have 4 of them. We have Cinnamon, who is a female serpent folk ranger. A guided player who wanted to play like a snake person, but I didn't want to send them down the Yuanti kind of rabbit hole because, there's a lot of... if you read how the Yuanti are presented, they seem pretty evil, because they typically are. So I came up with this idea of the serpent folk, who are snake-like and still have many of those traits, but they don't have, all that kind of negative association. They also don't have magic resistance, because magic resistance is too powerful. But they're a ranger, and they live in the forest. So the town is called Greencrest, and it's situated on the edge of this massive forest, right? This big kind of fairy tale forest. It's on the green crest of this great forest called the Ghostwood. And the Cinnamon lives in the forest with her mother, and her mother is very suspicious of the town, with good reason, because she was here 8 years ago when the carnival came through, and her husband was one of the people who was, like, swapped. And so she's been very suspicious of the town ever since, and she's told her, 9-year-old daughter never to go into town. We have Katza, who is the rogue I mentioned before. She's got kind of the Richies background, where her family are like a bunch of charlatans and con artists, and they are posing as nobles in the town. But they have since moved here before the carnival last came through, so they are unaware of this repeated cycle. Cyrus is the female tiefling monk. She is kind of the older sister of the group. And her family has lived here forever. They've been here even before the town was sprung up around them. They run the local inn called the King and Horns. And the idea is that they are kind of the ones who are most steeped in this tradition that every 8 years, the people from the village swap places with the people from the carnival, right? So Cyrus's grandmother is the one who helps them do the ritual and summons in the carnival and sees this as this important cyclical thing, right? It lets them live forever or reattain their youth or whatever it is. And then Izumi is a female half-elf warlock, and she is her kind of thing is that she's haunted by these ghosts. Her parents are actually a pair of Shadowkai that want to try to escape from this sort of eternal, cyclical thing. So they've been collecting these Shadowfell artifacts trying to break the spell. And inadvertently that has caused Izumi to be haunted by 3 ghosts. I think we came up with them last time. It was the Countess, the Cutthroat, and the Coward. And they kind of will appear as angels and devils on her shoulder to tell her what, she should or shouldn't do at any given moment. And they also give her warlock powers. Great, so those are the 4 characters. That's kind of the premise. What we're going to do today is we're going to look at the carnival as it's presented, and we're going to see if we can check off these 3 objectives. I want to find characters inside the carnival who can now kind of substitute the parents and family of the kids once the swap happens. And I want to see what kind of hints I can drop about what's happening in Prismeer, the Domain of Delight that most of the campaign takes place in. And I want to figure out exactly how the Fey Crossing works, because I think mine's going to work differently because of the nature of what I've already established. And so hopefully we can make those 2 things work together. Great. With all that out of the way, it's time. Let's tuck in and talk about the Witchlight Carnival. So there's a little summary here. It's a fairground of kaleidoscopic tents and wagons, crewed by wondrous beings, many denizens of the Feywild. It's no ordinary carnival. It uses magic to travel from world to world across the material plane, visiting each world once every 8 years and setting up business on the outskirts of a populated area. It works. This says it spends a few days. We're going to change that to be 1 night, then packs up and moves to another location on the same world until the decision is made to leave that world and visit the next. The carnival includes a Fey Crossing. They're free to explore the carnival as they please. There are many paths through this chapter, so we can play out differently each time you run it. That's interesting, though, because, who runs campaigns more than once? Nobody. I like this image, though, of these, flying horses with these, butterfly wings on the wagons. Foxes even, too. So I might have this be what, comes through the portal that they open. Yeah, that's kind of neat. Okay. Familiarize yourself with the layout of the Witchlight Carnival. The map that appears in this chapter is a smaller version of the carnival poster map. Read the chapter and familiarize yourself with the carnival's attractions. Prepare the tracking devices described in Carnival Map. You'll need a D8 to track the passage of time. Yeah, interesting. I had read that time was a big deal in the adventure. The characters have an ally in the carnival, a planeswalking gnome bard named Eliwick Tumblestrum. Sure. They don't know Tumblestrum. She knows them. These strings guided the gnome bard to the carnival and revealed that their fates are intertwined with the fate of Prismeer. She has bought a ticket for each character who isn't a carnival employee. Yeah, I see. I might not need that character. Okay. On the poster map of the carnival, use a miniature figure or some other token to mark where each character is located at any given time. If the characters split up, the tokens will make it easier to keep track of everyone. I should be able to do that in Roll20. That's not too hard. The Witchlight Carnival opens at dusk and runs for 8 hours, ending just before dawn. That's perfect for me. Great. When the characters enter the carnival, place a D8 on the start of the track in the upper left corner. I wish I had the map up. The one, you move the die each space, sure, for each in-game hour, and turn the die so its uppermost face shows the hour that is now beginning. Don't worry about managing things down to the minute. You can slow passage of time, sure. You can speed it up. Okay, and the 3 events take place every night at a particular hour. So there's the welcome gifts, that's cool. The extravaganza, and crowning the Witchlight Monarch. Okay, that's fun. I like the, like, yeah, these are your kind of signposts through the night. Cool. Midnight Show gives the characters a chance to dazzle spectators and impress the carnival's ringmaster. And then the climactic event, okay. Tracking the mood, interesting. The characters' actions in the Witchlight Carnival can affect the... I want to make sure you guys can see what I'm reading here. Yeah, okay, cool. The characters' actions in the Witchlight Carnival can affect the overall mood of the carnival. Let's not use carnival twice in the same sentence. When the characters arrive at the carnival, place a token in the starting space on the track in the lower right. This token moves right or left as the track along the track as the carnival's atmosphere changes for better or worse. I wish they had a map of it here. Are they really not in the chapter D&D Beyond? Oh, here we go. Okay. I see. So mood is over here. Interesting. And time is over here. Okay. That's kind of cool. I like that. This doesn't map geographically to where I would set it, but I kind of like the idea that, like, the water and stuff just appears magically, that it's, like, not... It doesn't make geographical sense, right? There was no stream there before. Okay. Tracking mood. The text informs you when to raise or lower the mood. When the token is to the right of the starting space, spirits are high. Colors appear more vibrant. Flowers bloom around the fairgrounds. Cool. Carnival's mood, yeah, it's like, and as it moves to the left, it gets darker. The carnival's mood is used to trigger an important meeting between the characters and the carnival owners. If the mood reaches either of the end spaces on the track, the carnival's owners invite the characters to speak with them in their wagon. Okay. If they attend the Big Top Extravaganza, they can also receive an invitation to meet with the owners, even if the carnival's mood isn't in an extreme state. Yeah, so this is interesting. Witch and Light's Hourglass Pact. When the hags of the Hourglass Crown took control of Prismeer, they gained leverage over Mr. Witch and Mr. Light. The hags know that Witch and Light are not the carnival's original owners and have threatened to divest them of their status by orchestrating a reunion between the Witchlight Carnival and its counterpart in the Shadowfell, right? So this is that thing where the two carnivals have agreed to swap, right? I've kind of lost that, but I do still have an analog to Mr. Witch and Mr. Light. Izumi's two parents, I think, are kind of in my head physically based on them. So I think that those two, because they run the town, they're the most important and wealthy people in the town. I think that kind of means that they are paralleled in running the carnival as well. So whoever the carnival... Yeah, whoever now runs the carnival becomes her parents. And then, yeah, I see. Okay. So we might have to invent those characters. They might not be Mr. Witch. They might call themselves Mr. Witch and Mr. Light, but they might not physically correspond because I've already kind of used the character models for her existing parents. Tired of losing the Feywild Fair, the two Shatterkai have agreed to let the Coven steal from anyone who sneaks into the carnival without a ticket. Witch and Light have tried to neutralize this situation by diligently checking all visitors for tickets, but some unfortunates inevitably slip through, making them targets for the Hag's thieves. Yeah, you know, I don't hate that. I think giving them 2 reasons to go through into the Feywild is pretty strong. If their parents are switched and they have something missing, something that's stolen from them, I think that's cool. I'm into it. So I think we can keep that. I don't know what the agreement is, right? Maybe it's an agreement that the current Mr. Witch and Mr. Light made, right? But not the previous one. This is what gets so confusing, is that because it's like 4 characters, right? Instead of 2 characters, it's like, what are their each individual agendas? So the owners of the Witchlight Carnival are a pair of Shatterkai named Mr. Witch and Mr. Light. Witch is a matter of fact and devoid of pretense, while Light is flamboyant and coy. Yeah, that's kind of how I played them too. A story worth telling under different names. They owned another carnival that prowled the edges of Shadowfell. Yeah, okay. After trading their centers for carnival for a more lighthearted one, they took the names Witch and Light. Gradually, these morose, emotionally stunted Shatterkai transformed into fun-loving free spirits who secretly dread the day when the 2 carnivals cross paths again. They have no desire to return to their gloomy old carnival, which is described in more detail in Von Richten's Guide to Ravenloft. Okay. Shatterkai are aware that the Hourglass Coven has usurped Zilbina. I never know how to say that one. Yeah, Zilbina's domain in the Feywild. They don't know how the Coven accomplished the coup. But the Witch and Light would like nothing more than to see the hags defeated and Zilbina returned to power. But they dare not play a part in making that dream a reality. If the Coven caught a whiff of dissent from Witch and Light, the hags would punish the Shatterkai for their impudence by taking the carnival from them. Witch and Light do what they can to appease the hags while secretly rooting for Zilbina's return. They know Zilbina's true identity, but dare not reveal it. Oh, interesting. Okay. So we got to talk about this then. So what is the new relationship between these hags? So the hags are kind of the villains of the piece, right? The Hourglass Coven. So let's go into hints of what's happening in Prismeer, and let's try to break this down. So what we know so far is that the current Mr. Witch and Mr. Light, the current Witch and Light are Izumi's true parents, but are not Shatterkai. Her ostensible parents are Shatterkai who were caught in a bargain. Yeah, who made a pact with the hags of the Hourglass Coven, maybe? Hourglass. They made a pact with the hags of the Hourglass Coven, and so. But my thinking is that, like, the reason they have so many Shadowfell artifacts is they're trying to break this thing. They're trying to break this pact. I think in my head I had seen them just kind of stumbling into town and getting caught in this, but maybe they originally made some bargain to do this, and now they're realizing that it's endless, right? Like, there is no escape from it. Interesting. So what was the agreement that they made? So if we're losing this other carnival, right? I mean, we could keep it. We could say that they used to run a different carnival, and they wanted... Yeah, I don't hate that. Like, they used to run a carnival in the Feywild. Or in the Shadowfell. A carnival in the Shadowfell. The Shadowfell. It'd be kind of interesting if like, because I don't know that the Van Richten's Guide one has a name. I think it might just be called, like, the Spooky Carnival or something useless, right? Let's look. Which one is it? Which one's the carnival? Oh, that's cool. There's an Eberron one. Nightmare Lands, the Rider's Bridge. Does anybody know the name? Oh, yeah, it's just called The Carnival. Come on. You know what I mean? So I think it would be cool. It would be more fun if it was like, yeah. I almost want to call it something like Witch Blight or something, right? Like, what is the Shadowfell version of it? Something Blight. I don't know. I want to change the Bitch Blight Carnival. I don't think it's gonna work. Or like Witch Fright or something, you know, like something like that. But made a deal with the Hourglass Coven to, I cannot spell hourglass today, I guess. Hourglass Coven to switch places with the Fae who ran the Witchlight Carnival. Hag's Blight isn't bad. I kind of wanted to like go with Witch, you know, but I don't mind Hag's Blight. What's up, John? Thanks for coming. Who ran the Witchlight Carnival. Now, however, after, you know, decades or you know, whatever, of perpetually switching, they want out. But what I don't understand is like, how does this like bargain, this ancient bargain, Crone's Blight is cool too. How does this like ancient bargain benefit the hags, right? Like, because I kind of like it just being this like old tradition, kind of Midsommar style that like nobody really examines anymore. Between, yeah, they want out. Because like, yeah, their MO doesn't work if they're trying to escape and the hags are threatening them. You know what I mean? Like with sending them back. Like maybe the hags are threatening with sending them back to the Shadowfell, but they don't want that. They want to live in the material plane forever. They don't want to go back to the Feywild or the Shadowfell. They want to live here in the real world. Yeah, they want to stay here in the real world. In the real world. With Izumi, who is their actual daughter. Yeah, there we go. Actual daughter. Well, no, because it's this is so confusing. Why did we set it up this way? It was cool in the moment, and now I'm like stuck trying to figure this out. So I like the idea they want to stay in the real world, right? That like if she has two sort of sets of parents, she has the people who actually raised her, right? And then the people that she's actually born to, right? Like her biological parents and her like ostensible parents. Her ostensible parents are the Shatterkai, right? Who already have names. I forget what I named them, but they have names in world. And then her real parents are these would be a human and an elf if she's a half elf, right? So they maybe want to get back to her. Like they both want to break out of it, or does one of them should want to maintain it and one of them should want to interrupt it, right? Or of the pair. So like it seems like the Shatterkai want to interrupt it, right? And then it seems like the other two should want to maintain it. Yeah, because I think that's better, because then it's like an other mother thing, right? Like what's going to happen is that once the carnival leaves, Izumi's going to wake up and her parents are going to be different people, but they're going to be insisting that they are her parents, right? And that they've always been, and that nothing is different. And I wanted to maybe make them be like Eladrin or something. Her house is very like dark and drab and kind of spooky because it reflects her like Shatterkai parents. But if the current runners of the carnival, Mr. Witch and Mr. Light, are both like Eladrin and very like, you know, positive and bright and colorful, then that can like slowly change her house. Like it'll feel like more of a contrast. Okay, so one set of parents, the Shatterkai, want to break the pattern and stay in the real world. One set of parents, the Eladrin, want to perpetuate the cycle forever. Yeah, okay. That's good enough. This is very weird. I appreciate everybody's like patience and understanding with me as we go through this. We'll have to figure out exactly how the Hourglass Coven works into that, but we'll get there. Okay. Let's see. So Mr. Witch used to go by this name, spent his, this is his backstory. Keeper died years later. There's a lot of backstory for this one guy. Okay. Yeah, partners and collaborators ever since. Okay. He's got this item, the Witchlight Watch. It glows with a faint golden light. When open, it makes a soft ticking noise. The face of the watch shows a miniature painting of the Witchlight Carnival, ringed by a tiny hedge, orbited at night by a mote of light small enough to slip through the eye of a needle. Okay. This light causes the hinge to cast shadows, and these shadows allow the watch's owner to track the passage of time. Sure, so it's like a little sundial. A creature attuned to the watch can use an action to initiate the packing up or the unpacking of the Witchlight Carnival. Okay. Sure, that's cool. Magically whisked about until everything is packed up and ready for travel. Let me set up. Yep, so kind of a Sorcerer's Stone thing, right, where they fly around. Once the process of packing up or unpacking the carnival begins, it can't be stopped until the task is complete. When the watch is used to pack up or unpack the carnival, the property cannot be used again for 8 hours. Oh, wow, okay, so you can also cast a bunch of spells. Firebolt, Invisibility, or Message as an action. That's pretty powerful. Gains 30 pounds. Interesting. Must eat and drink 8 times the normal amount each day. Weird. Okay. Mr. Light, Ermias Umbridge, Filthy Rich, Shatterkai family. Yeah, they're friends. Weirdly kind of queer-baited, I think. Slender Frame, dressed in some kind of costume, is rarely seen in public without makeup. Fancy Weather Vane. This ornate rod is topped by a pair of butterfly wings and incorporates bits of red glass into its length. It's a magic weapon. You can use it as a mace. Can sense mood. Sure, so one of them controls time, one of them controls mood. Okay, that's cool. It's an action. Creature attuned to the vein can use it to pinpoint the location of the happiest creature in the carnival. That's fun. Oh, it's sentient, too. It's hearing a normal vision out to a range of 30 feet, and it communicates by transmitting emotion to the creature it is attuned to. Its purpose is to make sure everyone in the Witchlight Carnival is having a good time. Okay, it's fun. Yeah, which I think, like, if her current parents are very, like, dour and Shatterkai, that, like, making them these, like, bright, colorful Eladrin who are concerned with happiness and emotion, I think works. Vulnerability to lightning damage, sure, because it's a weather vane. Attuned to the vein, can't be blinded, deafened, petrified, or stunned. Dancing Lights, Polymorph, and Ray of Frost. Okay. Yeah, the Witchlight Hand. So this is going to be everybody else's parents, I think. The backbone of the Witchlight Carnival, a motley collection of individuals who operate many of the booths, make repairs, feed, and exercise the animals. So here, for replacements for each parent, like, Izumi's parents are replaced with Mr. Witch and Mr. Light, who are, in our version, Eladrin parents. Or Izumi. Izumi. Her parents, or her fathers, are replaced with Mr. Witch and Mr. Light. In our version, bright and sunny Eladrin, who want nothing more than to see the carnival. See, Green Cryst's bargain. Cryst's bargain. Continue forever and ever. I mean, you could do a thing where maybe her current parents, the Shatterkai, are agents of the Hourglass Coven trying to break it up. That, you know, maybe the Fae are excuse me, the Hags are jealous of this. They're like eternal youth. Excuse me. That's a pretty common hag thing, right? Yeah. So the Witchlight Hands are the backbone of the Witchlight Carnival, a motley collection of individuals who operate many of the booths, make repairs, feed and exercise the animals, keep an eye out for thieves and other miscreants. Sure. A few also work part-time as performers on attractions. They rarely leave the carnival grounds. The carnival is the only world they know and care about. 124? Okay, great. They must never harm another staff member, and they can't leave the carnival for more than a day at a time. On-duty staff members are required to wear fake butterfly wings. That's cute. Mr. Witch and Mr. Light also furnish them with small amounts of pixie dust. Okay. Are paid only a small fraction of carnival profits, so there's enough to keep them fed, clothed, and cared for. Are taught how to perform minor magic tricks, which they use to amuse themselves as well as entertain the masses. Okay. Gotcha. So it shows up. Oh, that's cool. A great length of blue ribbon transforms into a lazy spark. I was wondering about that. Okay. Cool. So yeah, there's like a setup scene where everything, the watch does it, right? And then the trees and the ribbon and everything is all set up. Carnival etiquette. There's no handbook for how guests should act. Certain are tolerated, others might cause offense. Politeness goes a long way. Paying attention when spoken to, laughing at jokes. I like that. You can raise a carnival's mood. The party is consistently polite to carnival staff and fellow attendees. That's cool. I like the idea of like natural 20s on charisma can improve it and natural 1s can lower it, right? Like if you upset one person, it ripples out and affects the whole carnival. That's cool. Yeah, can lower it by 1 step if they actively offend anyone they meet. Cool. Theft and violence. Sure, carnival scenes. Fun. A giant dragonfly, that's cool. We hope we're having a delightful evening. Giant singing flowers, cool. Wandering outsiders. Kettle Steam is a Kenku warlock. Has come to the carnival seeking answers. The carnival owners refuse to speak to her until they come clean. She's committed to causing trouble. Just do a disguise self to assume whatever form. Okay. Not sure if that's super necessary for me. Thieves, though, I'm interested in. Each member of the coven employs a thief that visits the carnival to steal from ticketless victims. These thieves enter and exit through the Hall of Illusions, making it a gateway to their mistress's splinter realms of hither, thither, and yon. Okay, cool. Carnival staff have been instructed by Mr. Witch and Mr. Light to ignore them. Okay. So... yeah, so confusing. So if the carnival staff in their version have been instructed to ignore the thieves, then that implies that they are working with the hags, right? So it seems like the hags want this to continue happening. So the hags would actually be supporting Witch and Light, not Izumi's parents. Okay. Yeah, that works. So they seem bright and friendly, but they're actually working with these hags. Yeah, I mean, they might be accomplices in the whole Zilbina thing, right? So these thieves possess a preternatural awareness of who is a carnival worker and who is a ticket-carrying visitor. Every night of the carnival, they haunt the dark spaces between wagons and attractions, scanning the crowds for ticketless interlopers. Characters who have tickets or who work at the carnival are not targets for these thieves. Some characters might catch glimpses of these spooky figures as reflections in mirrors, shadows, or doorways. Like, I think, so... I don't know, but the tickets thing throws me because, I mean, obviously it makes sense for them in their context, but I don't think that you would have tickets in a scenario where there's this bargain between these two communities. So I think what's attractive to the hags is not the tickets, but it's the youth. Like, the children aren't affected by the bargain, right? They didn't make that pact. They couldn't have agreed to it. So it's only adults who make this agreement to go back and forth forever and ever, right? So there's something about the kids, whether that's their... youth or whatever that the hags are trying to steal from. Yeah, I think it's the children. Got it. Some characters might catch glimpses of these spooky figures as reflections in mirrors, shadows, and doorways, out-of-place figures standing motionless in the moving crowd. Cool. Nice and spooky. 3 thieves are fiercely loyal to their hag mistresses and won't reveal anything if caught. Bavlorna Brightstraw's thief is one of her Lornlings, a miniature version of herself. Okay. Use the Quickling stat block to represent this toad-like creature. Okay. So this feels like another like hint. Yeah. So there are thieves, 3 thieves, 1 sent by each hag. Prowl the carnival, seeking children from whom they can steal things. There's something weird though where like, maybe let's go back a chapter real quick. Because it feels like I'm missing. Like, I don't understand what they want. Like, what is the objective of these hags? You know, who are the bad guys here? Oh, this imagination guide? Let me check that super quick because I want to know. Bavlorna, cool. Oh, wow, yeah, they do some, like, crazy Gaelic stuff. Look at this. Dovergale. That's how you spell Dovergale. Dubhforgail. Dovergale. What? Zabilna. Okay, not Zilbina. Zabilna sounds better. That's a weird name. Gosh, look at this. Zinipax. Interesting. Ermius Umbridge. Skabatha is a cool name. Ringlerun. Nerix Crumple. Matrick Rosloff. Kalamanzaros. Yeah, Kalamanzaros is cool. Igwilv. But my point is that, like, there's no Matrix treasure to the carnivals. This is like a beginning. Oh, okay. This is a hook. Oh, okay, yeah. This is like, they do this in all of these adventures where they're like, here's the very simple hook if you just want to plop it in front of the party. It's an NPC, and the NPC asks you to go and do this thing, right? Yeah. Okay. It's a cool ticket, though. All right, let's go back to the carnival, because we already got our intro. I'm just like, my point is that, like, I don't understand who the hags are or what they want. I know that they captured Zabilna, and they're holding her prisoner, and have carved up her domain. But I don't understand, like, why do they send these thieves? I don't like learning that as I read it, you know? Okay, we did carnival etiquette. Let's see, maybe it'll say more in here. Have we seen those three? Oh, here we go. No, okay, we did it. Bavlorna Blightstraw. It's one of her Lornlings. Miniature version of herself. Skabatha, Nightshade's thief, is Sow Pig. Ugh. A small ghoul. She appears as a little gray-skinned girl wearing a pig mask and holding an oversized lollipop. That's pretty scary. Endolin, Moongrave's thief, is the detached shadow of Gleam, a high elf acrobat who wears a crescent moon mask. Cool. Gleam's detached shadow uses the shadow stat block, except it is a fae instead of an undead. Creature whose strength is reduced to 0 by the shadow strength drain does not die but falls unconscious instead. Okay. The thief has the following additional action options. Sticky fingers. I see. Okay. Ugh. Sow Pig. Horrible. Okay, and then there's locations. So the locations are less concerning to me because it's I can kind of go through these on my own and say, oh sure, you can go here and you can go there and you can go here, right? But let's just do a real brief. It's a goblet that runs it. Nicholas Midnight. A wooden box. One prepaid ticket for care. We're not going to do tickets. So... okay. Oh, these are interesting, though. I like the ticket packs. Maybe I repurpose these packs because, like, again, I think the tickets feel like a distraction to me in the context that I've already set up. But I like these. Like, you must not tell a lie knowingly. You must wear a crown of flowers and water it every hour without taking it off. You must, like, I like those as being punishments. Like, if you cause trouble, if you get caught causing trouble in the carnival, then one of these things is true about you, right? Like, you must greet all trees with revenants. You must compliment everyone you meet. You must declare your love of unicorns at every opportunity. You know, things like that. Okay. The Big Top. Setting up 2 main events, the Big Top Extravaganza and the Crowning of the Witch-like Monarch. You're at the timed events. Carnival Barkers is stationed throughout the fair. Declare Big Top Extravaganza tonight at midnight. Prepare to be delighted. Schedule events. Variety of entertainers perform here. Cool. Yeah. Got it. you know, lots of cool stuff. The Firefly Circus and Halfling Contortionist and Satyr Fiddler. Dressing room. Backstage area has a smaller circular tent adjoining the big top. Curtain doorway between them. Guarded by witchlight hands. Costumes and aesthetics. It's kind of cool. Yeah, one of those retractable, like, Knives Out daggers. That's fun. Clown costume with fake butterfly wings. Sure, okay. That's all cool. Bubble Pop Teapot. So this is like one of the rides. The ride costs 1 ticket punch. It's managed by a friendly goblin non-combatant named Treaclewise. Wears a bright yellow butterfly wings and carries a string of teaspoons on his belt. 7 more friendly goblins sit and chatter around the giant teapot while sipping tea. The word that you intend to say, try saying it in a different way. Treacle loves to talk in rhyming slang, substituting everyday words with nonsense rhymes. Sure. Gnarly tree knot instead of teapot. Yeah, that's going to be difficult to do. Scatterleaf tea. Okay. Oh, sure. So it's like a Wizard of Oz thing. It's like a bubble and you float up over. Yeah, okay. That's cool. Yeah, that's fun. You can steer it around. Yeah. And then it pops a random location if you can't control it. That's fun. I like that. Calliope. The carnival, magically linked to the carnival's mood. Okay. Sure, when people are happy, it pipes along merrily. That is fun, David. I agree. But it plays discordantly when the mood is low. Each of the Calliope's whistles is imbued with magical gusts of wind, allowing it to play without end. Ernest the monkey. I like that. Has the mind of a middle-aged human, the result of a prank involving the organ grinder, his pet monkey, a leprechaun, and a great quantity of brambleberry wine. But the jest turned to disaster when his body ran off with the monkey's mind inside. Oh no. He can speak common. Okay, that's fun. Ernest. Next, to collect buttons from the carnival's guests to sew into his cloak. Spare a button if you please. I'll sew it next to all of these. I offer nothing in its place besides a smile upon my face. That's cute. There's a lot of goblins here. It's interesting. Marigold, the goblin dressed as a ladybug. Oh no. On the story tracker, jot down the names of characters, give at least 1 button to Ernst. If 1 or more of these characters find themselves trapped or captured in Prismere, they hear distant whistling of the Calliope, can follow the music to safety. That's cool. Yeah, I think this is a fun thing that they do where they set up, like, if they take this action or this action, it sets up things for later. The story tracker, right? Any barriers, obstacles in the way are magically removed. The lock on a cell door might spring open on its own. A guard might fall asleep, or a silent spectral monkey resembling Ernest might appear and reveal the shortest route to freedom. This is a tool to help the characters get out of a tight spot and can be used only once per group. I love that. That's great. I think that's really fun. And I think that, like, having the Fey quality of it lets you get away with, like, kind of non sequitur crazy. Like, yeah, this person comes in to rescue you even though it doesn't make any sense. You know, that's fun. Diana Cloppington. A female centaur. Okay. Sure, it's like a wooden unicorn carousel. Okay. The cruel hag has magically fused the bodies of Diana and her horse. Oh, God. Giving her the appearance of a centaur. Diana fled Prismere and befriended Mr. Witch and Mr. Light, who offered her a home in their carnival. She greets patrons with good humor. There's a sadness behind her eyes. She's a human who made a bad deal. Are investigating the carnival for their own reasons. She tells them how a hag made good on a promise to reunite Diana with her missing horse. So yeah, Diana. Yeah, Carousel. Diana might clue them into the hags. Or even the thieves. Like, she might know about the bargain Mr. Witch and Mr. Light have struck with the hags. She tries to speak or write about these forbidden topics. She painfully coughs up brown tree sap, or mushrooms blister on her fingers until she ceases her attempts. Ooh, okay, random thought. Did Zabilna make the deal with Greencrest? she caught people interloping into Prismeer and instead established, ooh, yeah, the gift of reciprocity, the law of reciprocity, right? Reciprocity. No, that's not how you spell reciprocity. There we go. Yeah, because that's one of the 3 laws, right? So I was trying to think of like, what is the motive? Is the party's motive to take down the Hourglass Coven? Because you can kind of splinter it. It's like, if Zilbana is the one who made the deal, then only Zilbana is the one who can revoke the deal, right? But Zilbana is currently being held by the hags. Got it. Okay. Yep, we connected some things. Plus the hags are maybe going to steal some of their things, and so they might have to go for the hags for different reasons. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. Clues related to the hags. They must speak to the unicorns, but to earn their trust, they must learn the names of all 8 unicorns. Diana gives one of the characters a clay pot of gold paint and some paintbrushes. She says she can close the carousel for a short time while it undergoes essential repairs. Riddle of the Carousel. The carousel's 8 unicorns ride in pairs, and each unicorn wears a name tag on its bridle. Some of the names are legible, while other name tags are worn and indecipherable. The names of each pair of unicorns are keywords for a well-known proverb. Before any of the unicorns share their secrets with their riders, all of them must have their correct names. I see. So the first 2 unicorns are named Fortune and Bold, from the proverb, fortune favors the bold. Okay, yeah, that's fun. Pride before a fall, pride and fall, stone and moss, a rolling stone gathers no moss. Stitch and 9. Stitch's name tag is complete, but 9s. Yeah, some of these might be hard. There you go. Who don't have a good grasp of English proverbs. Use different pairs of words the players may have an easier time identifying. Yeah, breeze and gust, tale and yarn, dawn and sunrise. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. Done painting names on the unicorns, Diana offers them a free ride on the attraction. Gives a disgruntled whinny, and the characters learn nothing from any of the unicorns if they are ridden. If the unicorns' names are correct, each unicorn telepathically shares with its rider 3 secrets about Prismeer or the Hourglass Coven during the ride. 3 secrets. Whoa. Each unicorn. These secrets can be imparted in response to questions asked by the characters, or they can be shared without a prompt if the characters learn this. Okay. The character learns which hag has the lost thing they're looking for. Bavlorna, Blightstraw, Skabatha Nightshade. Okay. Character is told that Bavlorna's lair is a rambling cottage on stilts in a fey swamp. Sure. Mountaintop Theater. That's cool. There's a useful secret tied to the hag in question. Is allergic to something. To seeing someone run widdershins. What? Sleeps in a dollhouse and can't remember the first creature she sees when she wakes up. That's very strange. The hag you seek has foreseen her own death, which happens during an eclipse. Okay. The Warlock's Quest secret. Zybilna of Prismeer is frozen in time. So, I tailor these secrets. The secrets the unicorns impart. The unicorns impart are tailored to the bargain and maybe Zybilna. Yeah, they're not necessarily about... Because, like, I think they're going to have their things stolen now. Like, we're starting with them as children. That didn't happen when they were younger, right? 3 hags have seized control of Zybilna's domain and split it amongst them. Bavlorna Blightstraw, Skabatha Nightshade, and Endolin Moongrave. Hither, thither, and yon. Okay. Dragonfly rides. Sure. Northwind is the treant. Oh, look at him. Oh my gosh. Or them. Very cute. Red is a squirrel. That's very cute. Okay, yeah, speaks common. Dragonfly riding. Oh dear. Oh yeah, it's kettle steam again. Calm a startled mount to get it back. So yeah, one of them takes off. On the carnival's thoroughfare at a height of 20 feet. Wisdom check. Seat on them to direct a giant dragonfly. I benefit them in chapter 4. Okay. Northwind is terrible at keeping secrets. That's cool. Yeah, sure. Okay, got it. Sorry, I feel like there's a lot of me reading. Feasting Orchard. So they bustled all through the night with the activity of storytellers, musicians, and acrobats. My brain instantly skips over box text. I know I'm supposed to read it, and I just do not. Fairy cake eating contest. The contest runs repeatedly through the evening and costs 1 ticket punch to enter. The contest table is piled high. So maybe that's what the tickets are. You get a ticket, and then it can get punched a certain number of times is how we'll do it, rather than having to like earn it or talk their way through. Yeah, so the ticket taker hands out the tickets rather than collects them. Sure, I like that. The contest table is piled high with small glazed cupcakes. Sure, so it's just a cake eating contest. Swallow a cupcake in 3 seconds. It's fun. I'm gonna take 1d8 custard damage. There's the custard damage I've heard so much about. Okay. Subtract custard damage from the contestant's hit points as normal. He's unable to continue, loses the contest, and has custard splattered all over them. Yeah, very whimsical. Here's Eliwick. Hangs from a branch of a pear tree, plucking the strings on her lute while eyeing the characters. Provide a hint to the group. Like, I'm trying to figure out, like, who is this character? In some corners of multiverse, she was known as a planeswalker. Yeah, this is a magic thing, right? Tumblestrom disapproves of the Hourglass Coven's cruelty and aims to deliver some much needed. I don't know, it just feels like a weird Mary Sue. Like, I don't mind, like, I guess she's kind of like a Bombadil character, which, like, I don't mind that necessarily, but I don't know. Gondola Swans. Riding a gondola costs 1 ticket punch. Giant Swan. Speaks common and Orin. As our head. Featherine. The characters along the river circles the canal. Each gondola holds up to 8 medium creatures. Erudite and haughty. Metaphysical. What is joy? How do I know if we exist? What is time and illusion? That's fun. I like that. She rocks the gondola and tries to pitch her passengers into the water. Each occupant must succeed on a DC 10 saving throw. Earn her respect. She is questioned about the carnival. Her gossipy nature is revealed. So the mime Candlefoot make a disastrous attempt to propose to the mermaid Palasha. Yeah. Featherine enjoys late night debates with the bugbear Burley. Okay. Sure, so it's like little subplots. Hurley and Burley. Gotcha. Okay. But yeah, it can affect the mood depending on how you do. Hall of Illusions. All right, this is one of the ones I was curious about because I think this is where the gateway is. Stands near the entrance to this tent. The characters approach it. Read the following thing aloud. Mannequin of a grinning, raven-haired young woman in witch's attire. Sure. Tasha the Wizard, known for her hideous laughter. That's cute. The players know the spell pretty well, so that might be fun to have that. Butterfly face paint. That's pretty silly. He drops to one knee and pulls out a small box. His sweetheart bursts into laughter and begins rolling on the ground. The halfling in face paint begins sobbing and darts into the nearby tent without getting his pocket punched. Tasha was one of the names repeatedly used by Igwilliv, the Witch Queen. The creature comes in 10 feet of the mannequin, must succeed on a wisdom saving throw, be affected by Tasha's hideous spell. The halfling in face paint is Reuben Sugarwood. Ween Sundapple. Goes to the cabinet, fell victim to its spell. Chasing Reuben, okay. Coming from the cabinet spell, Ween remains outside the tent and calls out for Reuben, hoping he will return. This large tent is painted with a mural of shifting images showing grinning fairies diving into pools of color. Okay. Candlefoot the Mime is in here. Reluctant Ticket Puncher does all he can to avoid entering the hall. A strange monochromatic look. So, okay, the Kenku stole his voice, so he communicates through mime. If the characters give him a writing implement and some parchment, he can also write out his thoughts. Mermaid joined the Witchlight Carnival. Candlefoot discovered that her songs had the power to bring back his coloration. This surprised them both, and when the pair met, they fell in love. He's about to propose to Palasha when his voice was snatched by Kettle Steam. See, because Kettle Steam, like, that seems very easily done by one of the thieves, you know? And now he's stuck here. Candlefoot tries to explain his sorry circumstances through mime. Here's a fantastic opportunity for you to explore your hidden talents as a mime. Yeah, that's fun. He might move his lips or shake his head. Yeah, that could be a fun encounter for sure. Inside the Hall of Illusions. Spoken aloud in front of any of the hall's mirrors. The mirror transforms into a portal into the Feywild domain of Prismere. I might make Kettle Steam one of the thieves, actually, because the idea of a Kenku is sort of fun, especially if it's a Kenku with, like, disguise self, because you could have them disguise themselves as the party and go cause trouble or whatever, right? Like, that's kind of fun. And if they can only speak in things that they've heard the party say, yeah, I might swap out Kettle Steam to be one of the thieves. Kettles, because I don't understand them just like a random character, but if I stole the voice and run around, right? Kettle Steam. Stole. Kettle Steam is one of the thieves, and stole Candlefoot's voice. It could be a thing too where, like, if the thieves, I don't know what they want those things for. This is what I mean, we'll have to find out. We don't know why these thieves are after their stuff. Maybe that's covered, let's go back. Maybe that's covered in the Origins. Because there's, like, beginning the adventure, you know, with, like, hooks and stuff. Sorry, I know we're kind of, like, jumping around, but I'm just trying to find a way to connect the two. Character traits, lost things, here we go. Visit the Witchlight Carnival when they were a child. They snuck in without buying a ticket and had something stolen from them. Fate brings the characters together as adults, united by a common goal of retrieving that which they've lost. The adventure begins shortly after the Witchlight Carnival returns to the character's world for the first time in 8 years. One or more characters might be Witchlight Hands or Troubadours who have spent years traveling with the carnival. The remaining party members are assumed to be visitors who remember the carnival from childhood. It's possible they know each other. Retrieving lost things will require the characters to explore the Feywild regions of Hither, Thither, and Yon, and contend with the hags of the Hourglass Coven. Might be tempted to visit the Palace of Heart's Desire as well, but they can avoid this location and still accomplish their goals. Determining what was lost. Each character, having lost something precious as a child, is unable to gain inspiration until they get back what was taken from them. This might not seem like much of a drawback. Think of it more as a splinter under one's fingernail, a nagging, mildly painful annoyance that slightly diminishes one's happiness. Players don't know it yet, but the Witchlight Carnival operates by a particular set of rules. The children inadvertently set themselves up to be robbed. Whatever thing was taken from each character vanished suddenly while that character was distracted by the magic of the carnival. But, like, what are they? The lost things table. Okay, here we go. Yeah, the ability to keep secrets, ability to smile, artistic creativity. Yeah, these things. Okay, I was like, where was that table? The hags used each character's lost thing to craft a magic item. By interacting with the magic item in a specific way, the characters regain what they're lost. It otherwise functions normally. So, like, that's kind of cool. It feels a little bit like I just needed a wand of secrets, you know? Why couldn't you just... I do like a wand of smiles. It's fun. Okay. Yeah, interesting. Talking doll or stuffed animal. Who has it? Minor curses. Might carry a minor curse as well. Unlike the ability to gain inspiration, a minor curse can be lifted with a remove spell. Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah. I want a little bit stronger of a reason for her to be taking those things, but that's okay. Let's go to... back to the carnival. Carnival locations. We were in the Hall of Illusions, I believe. Yeah, it's very dense. You know, there's all these, like, intersecting plots and stuff. Since I'm only doing it for a night, I mean, I could have it be like a 3-night celebration. That's not necessarily so bad. If the party really gets into it, I just don't want to be like, the carnival is what we're doing forever now, right? When they want to kind of get to the actual game. So maybe it's better to do it as one night. It might be a couple of sessions, but yeah. They chase him in. Finds a successful perception check, gazing weirdly into a mirror. Okay, sure, a little girl in a pig mask. The girl turns and disappears. This is Sow Pig. He's trying to lure the halfling to thither so that Skabatha Nightshade can tempt him into a nefarious bargain. Asked him if he had any regrets, and said that if he did, she knew someone who could help him. Failed to find Ruben in 3 minutes. They come upon him as he steps into the mirror to join the girl in the pig mask. As he passes through the pain, the youthful reflection takes the girl's hand and walks away with her. Drops to the floor inside the hall as he disappears. Okay. Gotcha. If Ruben was led away, might encounter him again. They reunite the halfling couple. She accepts his proposal, and the carnival mood rises by 1. Okay. Got it. Lost property. A gray whiskered displacer beast. It's pretty cute. That looks after stray children until they can be reunited with their parents. Filled with toffee apple juice and fitted with a spigot for easy pouring. The juice never fails to console an upset child. Vero and Alwyn. Their mother fetches food and drink. Huh. Okay. Some things go missing from Witchlight Carnival never come back. Or can say more. Vero, the older of the boys. Okay. I don't like these like very scripted, like, you see this, and this person says that, and then this person says that, and then this person says that. Like, that's, you know, it's very NPC theater. Ooh, I love the art, though. I love how the, like, tendrils are brought up to be part of the wings. That's cool. To after Vero. Any character who searches for Vero can make a DC 15 perception check. Candy stall. New search. Lowers by 1. Grateful and reveals that many years ago its own cub vanished from the carnival without a trace. Okay. Its cub's name is Star. Yeah, Dear LeGround. That's a weird name too. Has to remember Star by his favorite toy, the small mirrored ball. Okay. Concerned that Mr. Witch and Mr. Light are on edge. By their attention, Search for Star gives the mirrored ball to them. Alright, yeah, it's just so many, like, do this for me, and do this for me, and do this for me. Mystery Mine. The mine is the brainchild of an eccentric dwarf named Zafixo. The all-seeing eye contraption. Look into the eye, ask each player to write down their character's name alongside the name of the creature, a creature the character fears. Don't gaze in the all-seeing eye can instill into the mind of the costume having a much less exhilarating experience. Each mine card holds up to 8 medium creatures. As the characters pass through the dragon's mouth, the ride plunges them into an illusion-filled demi-plane of undulating hills, corkscrewing trees, and prismatic skies. Okay. Illusory forms of the character's worst fears launch themselves with the mine card. It's up to you how to describe these fears manifest. Make a DC 12 wisdom saving throw as each illusion appears. The illusion a character faces is their own fear. They have disadvantage on the saving throw. On a failed save, character is compelled to scream as the illusion terrifies them to the core. On a successful save, they laugh at the illusion as it rushes by harmlessly. How many times their characters fail these saving throws? Sure, and you give advantage on charisma-based checks in the carnival if you succeed. Any character who fails 3 or more of the ride's saving throws is haunted by nightmares. Yikes. Whoa. 1d3 levels of exhaustion. That's serious. Holy shit. That is pretty serious. Wow. That's nuts. Okay, Pixie Kingdom. Pixie, Jeremy Plum, does his best to persuade the characters that the Pixie Kingdom is the best attraction the carnival has to offer. Enter the attraction costs 1 ticket punch. Jeremy encourages the characters to adopt Pixie names before entering. Refer to the table below for ideas. The carnival's mood rises by 1 step if all the characters use their adopted Pixie names while in the attraction. Okay. While whether or not the characters agree to adopt their names, they sprinkle pixie dust on them. Sure, it shrinks them. Yeah, okay. Gotcha. Exploring the Pixie. 12 pixies reside here during carnival hours. Friendly curious and ask new arrivals. Can ride Pinecone, an excitable pug. Oh no. The kingdom's centerpiece is a pixie palace made entirely of old cocoon husks, beautifully woven together. That's actually kind of creepy. Can dine on cucamelon sandwiches and thimbleberry tarts. This is whimsical as fuck. Characters can ride the wheel, which is powered by a talkative hamster named Biscuit. Of course it is. Of course it is. Every animal in here has a cute name and has also been awakened. Spend time talking to pixies or Biscuit to learn their following rumors. Kenku Troublemaker. Oh, where's this bugbear? I'm playing hide and seek. Organized by 2 pixies, Honey Mint and Starbug. God, there's so many characters here. I want to see, like, I know I skipped over this. This is my problem, right? I'm like, I don't need that. And I'm like, wait, maybe I did need that. I want to know how many punches they have, because it seems like a lot to be expecting them to do all of this, right? But I guess that's the point, is that, like, it's moving through the time, you know? So maybe it doesn't need to be multiple days. It's just like, what do they spend that time doing? And I can move the time as much as I want. Let's look at the tickets. Buying a ticket. Or how the tickets work. It's good for 8 attractions. Okay, so you can kind of do 1 per hour. Cool. I like that. Smart. Well, we were way down here, though. We were doing, not Hall of Illusions. You were in Pixie Kingdom. Hide and seek. Hiding spots. The Biscuit's wheel. I thought we were talking wildflowers. Heron's Nest. An awakened heron named Beatrice. Oof. Tries to hide in one of these locations. Must succeed on a charisma check to shush the creatures there. Silver Song Lake. Costs nothing to visit the lake and behold the star attraction, the mermaid Palasha. Audiences crowd the lakeside just to witness her beauty and hear her song. Palasha is no ordinary mermaid. Her singing has the ability to emulate the effects of a control water spell. That's cool. Summon a storm of quippers. Obey her commands. Is in love with Candlefoot, but finds it tragic that he has lost his voice. She can't face seeing him after his public marriage proposal went awry. The mermaid is also fiercely devoted to the carnival, where an impossibility in an impossible universe. She tells colleagues and strangers alike with great pride. Feathered Heckler. Sure, Kettle Steam. Mimicry deposes different hecklers. After 3 mean-spirited cheers, the mermaid falters mid-song, leaps out of her bowl, and darts off, heading downriver. Find the hecklers. Can spot Kettle Steam in her current guise with a successful wisdom check. Helping Palasha. That's a cockatrice. She's driven from Silver Song Lake by heckling, takes refuge in the river near the Hall of Illusions to coax her back from an act of gallantry. Characters persuade Palasha to return to the lake and resume performance. It rises by 2 steps. Okay. That's cool. Small stalls. One ticket punch can buy a snack served on a large flower petal, or a beverage served in a fist-sized snail shell. That's cute. Blue frosted cupcake, candied apple on a stick, Euphorio cookie, evening berry wine, fairy bell nectar, pixie tarts, sugar glazed button mushrooms, and tree sap lollipop. Remaining stalls offer games and contests that cost 1 ticket punch apiece. Yeah, okay, so then a bunch of games. Almirage Ring Toss. Yeah, that's cool. There's 1 per ability score. I have the first session of my Dwarven campaign is a similar thing, where it's like a tourney, but there's a bunch of different kinds of contests like that. Goblin Wrestling. Trinket. Yeah, so you can get different prizes. So yeah, Almirage Ring Toss, got it. Catch the Dragon by the Tail. Gnome Poetry Contest. Goblin Wrestling. Guess the number of feathers on a cockatrice. Outstare the Cyclops. An illusory Cyclops, okay. Snail Racing. Oh man, that's some never-ending story shit right there. The grandstands next to this race course are filled with cheering fairgoers, ringing bells, swinging rattles, and waving flags. On the starting line, 8 giant snails are having their shells scrubbed by pixies. Highly competitive, fast-paced sport that draws a lively crowd. At least half the characters participate in a snail race. The carnival's mood rises by 1. If anyone breaks the rules, the mood lowers by 1 step. What don't you like about the weed cookies? I do like the cookies. I just think they're funny. Well, it's Euphorio, right? They're Oreo cookies, is the joke. Yeah. Particles of fairy dragon euphoria gas. You know, we know. I know what that is. Euphoria cookies. If I do them, I'm going to describe them as being, you know, 2 black cookies with white in the middle. But it's like, I can't make a weed joke because all my kids are 11. You know, all my players are 11 years old. Oh, sure. Shelly Moo. Funny. The names of the different snails. So it's kind of, I imagine it's probably like, dinosaur racing, yeah. Yeah. Jockey makes a wisdom handling check. On a successful check, the jockey moves an extra 10 feet. 2 or more snails cross the finish line in the same round. Determine the. I'm sure this is exhilarating television right now. It's me just like quietly half reading stuff. Let's see. A sign posted in the stands and along the racetrack warned that neither jockeys nor spectators may influence the outcome of a race by using magic or harming other jockeys. Yeah, they are actual kids. Yep. The characters are kids, but the players are also children too. Yeah, most of my professional games are for kids. Actually, I have one professional game that's for adults. But yeah, it's a lot of like 11 and 12-year-old kids. This one's cool because the party's almost entirely girls. The rest of the groups I run for are uniformly boys, and it's cool to have like. And I didn't pick the fairy beautiful adventure for them. I just had them vote, and this is the one they voted for. So, yeah, they're all kids. They're like 11 to 13. So yeah, no pot cookies, but like you could make a joke. I think Oreo is the way into that joke then, right? Is to say like these are euphorios, and you eat them, and it's like whoa, man, you know. Snail race surprises. Okay. Yeah, no real plot there. Just kind of like do the race. Staff area. Carnival's wagons are located beneath the big top. Can move through the wall of thorns. Okay. So there's like a wall of thorns around a cluster of wagons. Interesting. That seems kind of sinister. Here's Burley. Okay. Close by the wall of thorns is a circle of 8 brightly painted wagons, one of which is a glass-enclosed water tank for Palasha the Mermaid. Belongs to Mr. Witch and Mr. Light. Inside the wall of thorns and outside the circle of wagons is patrolled by a bugbear named Burley, who leaves his post once during the evening to participate in the Big Top extravaganza. He wears a large jack-o'-lantern on his head, so one would wear a helmet, in addition to the dungarees and fake fairy wings. The clown's name is Thaco. That's so silly. Who is loyal only to Mr. Witch. He usually sits right outside the door, blowing bubbles with his bubble pipe. Burley and Thaco dislike each other, so they don't fraternize while on guard duty. Characters caught snooping around the wagons. Evicted from the carnival. Witch and Light's wagon. In their wagon throughout the evening, except during the Big Top extravaganza and the crowning of the Witchlight monarch. Which Light attends and Witch does not. Okay. And the Witchlight monarch, which they both attend. Refer to the carnival owners section for more information about Witch and Light. So I'll have to design new versions of them, right? Need to find a way to calm down. I'll calm down when that Kenku pest is gone. She knows nothing, and she'll get frustrated soon enough and be on her way. I hope you're right. Trust me. So you could change that to be about the thieves, right? Let them do their work. Conversation shifts to the current mood of the carnival and ideas for new carnival acts or attractions. Hey, the Catalepas didn't work out. Maybe we can buy a giraffe and paint it blue. And it turns the mysterious disappearance of Burley's unruly brother, Hurley, in hushed tones, that suggests Witch or Light might have had a hand in it, although neither admits any involvement. Hurley's fate is revealed in Chapter 4. Oh, dear. Jump ahead to meeting Witch and Light. Searching the wagon. Just find a hat box near the crown of the Witchlight monarch. Teleports back to its hat box at the end of the evening, is ceremoniously produced during its box during the monarch's coronation. For seeking apartments, finds one. The apartment is located in a bench and contains a tiny bejeweled chest worth 50 gold. Replica of a much larger chest hidden on the ethereal plane. Holding the replica chest, Mr. Witch can summon the larger chest. Interesting. Yeah, just a bunch of treasure. Okay. All right, here we go. Carnival events coming into the final stretch here. Meeting Witch and Light. Receive an invitation to privately meet with Mr. Witch and Mr. Light when the carnival's mood reaches either end of the track. Or if the characters impress Mr. Light during the Big Top Extravaganza, send Burley the Bugbear to fetch the characters. Management wants to see you. With a wave of his hand, Burley creates an opening in the wall of thorns that surrounds the staff wagons and leads the characters through it. Carnival's mood is good. He adds that his bosses are in high spirits. The clown is Thaco. We talked about him. An over-the-hill carnival attraction. Sure, he's old. That's funny. Appendix D contains additional role-playing notes for Thaco. God, look how sinister this picture is. Don't like strangers eavesdropping on their private conversations. Yeah, fair. Inside the wagon, a flamboyant elf grins from ear to ear as he welcomes you into the wagon with a theatrical bow. Mr. Light, my associate, Mr. Witch. Stocky elf lounging on a bunk. Nods to you and doffs his top hat. Explains that it picks up every nuance of emotion in the carnival. If the carnival's mood is good, Light expresses gratitude for the cheer. If it's bad, he expresses his regret that the characters aren't having a delightful time and notes that, in turn, they're spoiling everyone's evening. Are eager to learn the characters' reasons for visiting the carnival. If the characters are motivated by the Lost Things adventure hook. If the characters attack the carnival owners, they're swiftly restrained by Burley and Thaco, who try to knock them out and drag them outside the carnival. Characters who overcome their carnival owners are begrudgingly taught the secret incantation to reach Prismeer. Okay, well that's important. Questioning Witch and Light. The characters have come to the carnival seeking lost things, express their regret, not responsible for their losses. Forces are at work out on the other side that are beyond our control. What's lost is gone, what's gone is gone. What's lost is lost, what's gone is gone. They are questioning about conversations that they overheard. They're not the carnival's original owners. Took over management through an honest pact with the owner of the carnival. A disgruntled guest and troublemaker whose fey patron Zabilna dwells in the Feywild realm of Prismeer. Also the patron of the Witchlight Carnival. Witch and Light have no contact with her for some time. Never mention the Hourglass Coven. At meeting's end, takes a quick look at his Witchlight watch and then nods to Burley to escort the characters from the wagon. Their mood is good, offers each character a gift. A balloon animal of their choosing, crafted by Thaco. A clown of few words but many talents. Thaco fashions each balloon into whatever creature is asked for. Floats magically in the air. Okay. Burley's plan. After they meet him, Burley pulls them aside. Okay. Bad things have been happening at the carnival for a while. People and things have been going missing. My bosses know more than they're telling, but their hands are tied somehow. You're the first people I've met who've been able to set things right. Witch and Light are good guys, but you'll need leverage to make them spill the beans. Oh, so you suggest they steal the watch. Okay. Yeah. I don't know about this one. It's cool that it exists. It's just like it doesn't really pertain to the plot I've set up, you know? Because it's like the reveal doesn't come until they've already left, right? And it's just like to get them to say, you know, what's going on. But again, why don't you just tell me in the adventure what's going on? Why do I have to read to chapter 4 to figure it out? Okay, you know what? I can. Let's just read it. Let's just go ahead and look. So it's Hurley is the one who's missing, right? That's where we find out what's going on. People have been going missing. Let's jump ahead to chapter 4 and yawn. And look up Hurley. You know, what I would like is like, tell me now, that way, if I need to improvise something. Hurley, Bugbear, made a bargain with one of the hags and is quite unhappy with how things played out. Now he's forced to perform in her morbid theater. Like Gleam, Hurley used to work for Mr. Witch and Mr. Light. The Gleam and her sibling had already left the carnival by the time Hurley and Burley arrived. Is that it? That's the whole thing? Yeah, that's the big secret. But he made a bargain. What does that have to do with... I don't understand. Yeah, the heist seems unnecessary to me. Like, it's cool maybe, but I don't get it. And I don't understand why it's relevant, and I feel like it's not paced very well. You know, at least not the adventure isn't structured in a way that makes me understand why these things are important. What are the stakes here? So never mind about that. Catching Kettle's steam. Snoops around the carnival in the cover of a disguise spell, looking to cause trouble. Stole the voice of a human mind named Candle Foote. The surprise remains in her possession. Kettle's steam can speak clearly in Candle Foote's soft, silky voice. Yeesh. Not already been caught. A character who spends 1 hour searching for the disguise Kenku can see through her disguise while moving through crowds or paying attention to suspicious-looking folks. Tries to flee through the main thoroughfare using tents and other carnival features to break the line of sight. Investigate the carnival for their own reasons. I just don't understand the point of it. Okay, here we go. So she made a pact with Zybilna. I never do it right. This is Zybilna. The Archfey who rules the Feywild domain. Convinced something is amiss with her patron. As a warlock, she senses Zybilna is no longer in touch with her. Wants to question the carnival's owners about Prismeer, but they keep giving her the cold shoulder. During her last visit, Kettlesteam overheard Witch and Light talking in their wagon. Someone's going to find out about us. They'll shut us down. We agreed to this pact. Our hands were forced, but our eyes were open. We let the Hourglass Coven take what it wants. And in return, we stay in business. That is what you want, right? See, yeah, man. Maybe we go back to the Izumi's parents thing and we flip it and we do like one of them wants to get out and one of them doesn't, and it's the same in both cases, right? Like one of the Shatterkai and one of the Eladrin are happy in the pact, and one of the Shatterkai and one of the Eladrin are unhappy in the pact. It's just so confusing. Kettlesteam is causing trouble in the carnival and refuses to stop. Like, I don't like plots like this where it's like, okay, this thing happened off screen that your characters have no context for, and like they have no way to ever learn about the Shadowfell, nor will it ever really matter to them. But it did, and it's like the central conflict of the campaign, right? Is this pact that these two carnivals made. Like, that's not relevant to the characters at all on any level. Like, the stolen things definitely are. Maybe this warlock hook is, but like, ugh. Or have the Shadowfell, have it be both, right? That the adventure goes to both the Shadowfell and the Feywild, and it uses both carnivals, but it doesn't seem like it does that. Maybe that's one of the locations in the Shadowfell is this, or in the Feywild is this other carnival, but then what is it doing in the Feywild? You know what I mean? Like, it was about these two carnivals and how they exchange, which I think is cool. Then I want to go to both. I want to understand the stakes. But just to say, yeah, there's this different carnival, and it's also bad, and go buy Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft and use that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Causing trouble through the carnival and refuses to stop until Witch and Light divulge what they know about Zybilna and Prismeer. Kettlestream can't enter Prismeer. She urges the characters to find out what happened to Zybilna. Okay. For Madrick. So Squawk, or rivals who share the same patron. Question about the theft of Candlefoot's voice. Kettlesteam produces a corn husk doll with a thorny stem tied around its neck. Yeah, exactly. Never Ember is the perfect example, dude. Yep. I had to do that with my game too, right? Where like Never Ember is just some character that you never meet and doesn't do anything. So I got rid of him and replaced him with a dragon. I had Oranax do it, and then you fight Oranax at the end. You know, because what does that have to do with the characters at all? Like, I don't understand the relevance of that guy. It's like, man, he was a guy, and he exists in the Forgotten Realms lore, and here's what Never Ember is doing now. And it's like, he was the Open Lord of Waterdeep, and then now he just likes Neverwinter better, so he went there. It's just such a weird conflict. Like, the idea of a bunch of missing golden dragons is awesome, but, yeah, I don't know. Okay. So Kettlesteam to me just also is not particularly interesting. This idea of like something's wrong with, because they already have motivation to try to free Zybilna. So we don't really need that. I think maybe one of the thieves can be a Kenku. Maybe the actor one, but that's we don't need any of that. Yeah. Okay, let's look at these timed events. These seemed cool. Welcome gifts. A 12-foot tall walking tree. Squirrels' companion red. Yep, this is Northwind. Spinning golden sycamore seeds. Fairgoers try to catch the seeds before they hit the ground. As the seeds gently fall, a chatty squirrel scampers along the boughs of the tree, handing dandelions to select passerby. Creature can attempt to catch a falling sycamore seed before it touches the ground. Doing so with a successful DC 10 Dex check. D8, consulting the welcome gifts table. Can make a wish while blowing on it. Characters should secretly write down their player's wish on a piece of paper and collect those notes and keep them somewhere safe. Ooh, that's really cool. I like that one. Okay. Those are fun. Welcome gifts. I'm easily amused. Gains a die, a d4, which they can add to one ability check. This one's not really a gift. Okay. Those are kind of crappy gifts. The seed turns into a single gold piece. Wow. Big spender. I like the wishes though. I might just do the wishes, right? That someone goes around handing out dandelion. Yeah, that's cool. Big top extravaganza. The lights dim and a hush falls over the crowd. A second later, a spotlight illuminates a lithe elven figure sitting in a silver hoop. Introduces several, says Mr. Light. Attractions. Burley the Bugbear performs feats of strength. Palasha the Mermaid serenades the audience with a clamshell bathing pool. Candlefoot the Mime plays silent games with audience members. Fairy Dragon, with bright streamers tied to their tails, perform dazzling acts of synchronized flying as a troop of acrobats, clowns, and fire breathers parade about. They attempt to disrupt the show, deflects their interruptions with banter, and maintains a jovial demeanor. Persistent hecklers lowers the carnival's mood by one step. If any guests would like to perform, any character who accepts the offer can woo spectators with a DC 14 charisma check, raising the carnival's mood by 1 on a success. If multiple characters choose to perform, raise the carnival's mood by 3 steps if the group check succeeds. Can improve the carnival's mood only once during this extravaganza. At the end of the show, Burley invites the characters who took the stage and impressed the crowd to meet with Mr. Witch and Mr. Light earlier in the chapter. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's fine. Pretty normal. And then crowning the Witch Glass Monarch. Spectators take their seats in the big top. The Displacer Beast escorts Mr. Witch from his wagon to the coronation, leaving Thackle the Clown behind to guard the staff area. Witch and the Displacer Beast stand on the sidelines next to Candlefoot as Mr. Light gives an opening speech and the Monarch is selected. He holds the hat box containing the Monarch's crown, releases the crown of golden butterflies from the hat box and places it on the Monarch's head. Mr. Light knights the Monarch with the Witchlight Vein. Happy clowns shower all 3 in glitter. Very whimsical. Happy clowns shower them with glitter is a pretty crazy thing to read in a D&D adventure. Witch and Light escort the Monarch onto a circuit of the stage while Palasha the Mermaid sings a joyous song and pixies flutter around. Okay, whatever. Yeah, it's a lot of fanfare. I get it. Parade around the carnival. Great, but why is they... Again, it's like they put all this thing like, someone is the monarch. These are all things that happen to them. Like, but why is someone the monarch? What does being a monarch mean? I don't need to know how many pixies are fluttering around them. I need to know why it happens and what it means. Witchlight Vein selects the monarch from the carnival's guests, spinning a thread of golden light that winds its way through the chosen reveler. If the mood of the carnival is positive, choose the character who improved the carnival's mood the most. Sure. Okay, I mean, that's simple. And but just, I feel like put that first, right? Say, this is how you pick one, and then this is what happens. Or ask the player to agree on which of their characters should be crowned. If it's not appropriate for any of the characters to be crowned monarch, then a jubilant halfling bedecked in flowers is selected from the crowd. Me? It's very silly. I think you have like an NPC you've never seen who's just the happiest dude in the world. Yeah, I love that. Mr. Light exudes cheerfulness and follows through with the ceremony regardless of who is chosen. At the end of the celebration, as the carnival begins to wind down, the ceremonial crown teleports back to its hat box. Yeah, right. This is a lot of whimsy, you know? That's the thing with it, is that, like, I'm curious to get to Prismeer because, like, I think they have really gone in for whimsy in kind of a childlike fairy tale way, whereas I guess what I was looking for was more of a, like, Tamlin, Sealy Court kind of thing. And then there's probably some of that. There's more of that certainly in Prismeer. But this is pretty out there in terms of, like, tone. You know, I don't hate it. I think it's fun for this campaign, but, like, yeah, happy clowns shower the characters in glitter is one of those, like, okay. It's hard to do that sincerely, I think, you know. Teleports back. If the character self and found a way into Prismeer by the end of the evening, this is where Tumblestrum comes in. The gnome bard appears next to the characters, exclaiming that it's high time you folks were elsewhere, and leads them quickly to the Hall of Illusions. She ushers them inside and whispers the following incantation to them: hither, thither, here and there, wander yonder, show me where. Using the incantation, the characters can travel to Prismeer. If they are being chased, Tumblestrum distracts pursuers with a song before disappearing as mysteriously as she appeared. Development. The Witchlight Monarch gains the following charm and becomes instantly aware of its benefits. You can sprout a pair of beautiful butterfly wings. That's fun. As long as you have the wings, you gain a flying speed equal to your walking speed. And these effects last for 1 hour. Okay, yeah, so again, like, say this part first, and then you can talk to me about the other part. Even after the charm wears off, a character retains the title of Witchlight Monarch forever, and this title bears great weight in Prismeer. Fey creatures in the domain will not attack a Witchlight Monarch. Okay, unless the Monarch attacks them first. Moreover, Fey creatures in Prismeer treat a Witchlight Monarch with great reverence, addressing the character as Your Majesty, Your Highness. Now, this is fun. This I like. Yeah. The characters don't become aware of these benefits until they arrive in Prismeer and interact with its inhabitants. Yeah, that's great. I like that a lot. Again, it's like they're putting the cart before the horse. I don't need to know about the ceremony. I need to know why it's cool and what it means, and then go into that stuff. Okay, through the Looking Glass, if the characters gain leverage over Mr. Witch and Mr. Light, lead them to the Hall of Illusions and march them inside. So they need to gain leverage over it. I think in my version, they're just going to go back through the portal when the carnival's over, right? And it's about following them. And it's maybe about, like, how do you reopen it, right? Once the portal is closed, how do you open it again to chase after them? As Witch and Light move through the Hall of Illusions, their reflections in the mirrors show them as gloomy Shatterkai children, with your own youthful reflections following behind. Soon they call you to a halt. The mirrors now reflect everyone's true age. It feels like you could do an interesting thing with the mirrors where when they look inside, they see their, like, their reflection or whatever. They see who the opposite one of them is, right? Mr. Witch addresses you in a hushed tone. Everything you seek and more lies beyond this mirror. If you mean to step through, then stand. But, like, why would they go through there? Oh, sure, for Zilbana or the Lost. Yeah, okay. Witch and Light won't mention the Hourglass Coven or the splintering of Prismeer, but they share the following information if pressed. The land beyond the mirrors is called Prismeer, wherein dwells the carnival's secret patron, the Archfey Zybilna. Anyone who sneaks into the carnival without a ticket is robbed of something precious. Whatever is stolen always finds a way to Prismeer. The mirror is a one-way portal. Once they arrive in Prismeer, the characters must find their own way back to their world. Okay. When a character recites Witch's Rhyme while standing in front of the present-day reflection in the Hall of Illusions, read, any creature that touches the surface of the misty mirror is pulled through it and deposited in Hither, one of Prismeer's 3 splinter realms. If a character tries to take either the Witchlight Watch or the Witchlight Vein through the mirror, the item drops to the floor as the character crosses the threshold. Neither item can be taken to Prismeer. If Mr. Witch and Mr. Light are both present, they wait until only one character remains and then impart the following information to that character. Mind the rule of 3, future, present, past. Free the Alicorn. Find the Alicorn and free the Dormant Queen at last. And then they go through. Okay, so here's what I need. I need a way to, like, once how the Fate Crossing works. So once the carnival is done, because in order to have, like, the reveal of the parent sort of swap, right? Once the carnival is done, the characters return to their homes. You know, maybe they magically fall asleep or something. Although I think we have a couple of half elves, so that won't work or something. Whatever. When they awaken the next day, the carnival is gone, but their parents are all replaced with various characters from the carnival. There are a lot of, we should maybe get into that in a second before we're done for today, but, like, I wonder if Cyrus, who comes from a big family of tieflings, Cyrus's family has been replaced by goblins. Because there's a lot of goblins in the carnival, so I like that. Once the carnival is done, the characters return to their homes. Various characters from the carnival and here's what's important. They insist they are their parents. Their parents. What do you mean? I'm your mother. Kind of a thing, right? Very Coraline. So then if the party returns to the portal that they came through. So in my version, it's like a henge in the forest, right? Because we want to involve this big forest. If the party returns... If the party returns to the henge, they must contend with the Guardian in green. The Guardian in green. So yeah, let's do this. So yeah, there's like a green knight that guards the portal to the Feywild. And then it's only supposed to be opened if you can sort of charm the green knight. So what if we do a thing where we do meet Tumblestrum, and that she's the one who tells them the incantation. Like, remember these, at some point, she warns them, you know, remember these words, and then what was her incantation? Something silly. Hither, thither, here and there, wander yonder, show me where. Hither, thither, here and there, wander yonder, show me where. That way they're armed with it, and they have to like try to, they can go back through if they can talk to the Guardian in green. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. I think that works. So what I want to do quick is I want to go through and I want to figure out who everybody's parents were replaced by, you know. So Cinnamon's, it's funny to start with Cinnamon because Cinnamon's the one whose parents don't go through. So the original story, they're 9 years old when they were 1 year old when the carnival first came to Greencrest. And her father, also a serpent folk, went into the village and was like the one who, you know, wasn't afraid to go to the village and things like that. Maybe this was a time when Cinnamon's mother, you know, wasn't yet afraid of it. So like he went to the carnival, even though, you know, he's a serpent person, because he saw all kinds of other people there that were, you know, from the Feywild. And then he was there when this happened, and he got pulled into the Feywild as well. And then he was replaced with somebody else that obviously wasn't, you know, her husband. So her mother, Cinnamon's mother, like attacked and killed him, and he turned into like he dissolved into leaves. And so in last session, now for the past 8 years, she's waited and waited for this carnival to come back, so hoping that he'd come back with it. So she was worried that maybe the leaves had to be part of it, so she put the leaves back in town in a basket, and then hoped that when the carnival comes, it will like animate the leaves and he'll come back again. That obviously won't work. And she'll be out of ideas, and it'll be up to her daughter to kind of go chase down the father. The father won't come back through, right? He doesn't come with the carnival. So it doesn't really matter. We do need to know like who he appeared to be. And I wonder if it's somebody like Hurley or Burley or someone like that, right? Like her husband or like her father was whisked to the Feywild 8 years ago and replaced by a changeling. Her mother shot and killed the changeling, who dissolved into a pile of leaves. She's kept the leaves all these years. I mean, obviously they would have deteriorated, but they're magical or whatever, right? And is hoping that when the carnival leaves again, the leaves will turn back into her husband. It, of course, does not. And so she has no recourse. She warns her child not to pursue him, but it's up to Cinnamon whether she goes or not, which she will. So we just need somebody in the carnival who can kind of stand in for the snake folk. I'm not sure who that is off the top of my head, because a lot of these characters are kind of like stationary. Like they don't, I feel like they should be pairs, right? Like Katz's parents should be somebody. I think Cyrus, we said, like, there's a lot of goblins. Her tiefling family are replaced by goblins, are replaced by a family of goblins. Her grandmother replaced by, what's his name? Nicholas Midnight. We could, like, you know, we could change the name to be female. Nicholas Midnight, replaced by Nicholas Midnight, the Ticket Taker. Nicholas Midnight the ticket taker. Oh, no, oops, I'm putting this in the wrong place. Silly me. This goes over here. Ah, nope. Bold cinnamon. Cinnamon. There you go. Raised by goblins. Her grandmother. Her grandmother is kind of the one that orchestrates the initial ritual. She's the one that kind of like preserves the pact. You know, she presumably honors Zybilna the most. Her grandmother is replaced by a female version of Nicholas Midnight. Okay. Her father, her parents and siblings are found as goblins all over the carnival. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Izumi's parents are replaced by the Eladrin, the Mr. Witch and Mr. Light. Cinnamon's father doesn't come back, but back in the day, he was maybe replaced by... Yeah, I like it being Burley, right? Or Hurley. Hurley. 8 years ago, Burley's brother, Hurley, went missing in the forest. He's missed him ever since. Yeah, something like that. Maybe that's not quite right, but it's like somebody who's not around anymore, right? He stayed in the Feywild. Well, they would have both gone to the Feywild, so God, this is so confusing. So they came through, right? And this is what's tricky. Like, Katz's family, like, doesn't have a counterpart. So they just get whisked into the Feywild and then are replaced by two new people, you know? By changelings. So I'm trying to think of like who's like a good stationary character, or not stationary. Who's a good solitary character here? For the not Kettle Steam, who's a thief. Ticket Booth has Nicholas, he's a goblin. Timed events, costumes. Scatterleaf Tree is another goblin, treacle-wise. Ernest the Monkey. Diana Cloppington. Could be Diana, but then like someone's a horse, which I feel like is hard to like. I'm in your house and walking around. Definitely not a treant. Cake eating contest. Eliwick Tumblestrum. Gondola Swans, a giant swan. Hall of Illusions. Oh, you could do the mermaid. Yeah, the mermaid couple. I kind of like that. Or not the mermaid couple, but like the mime and the mermaid. The trick though with that is that like if he doesn't get his voice back, then how did he get his voice back, right? So that's an option. You could do the halfling couple, Reuben and Ween. But if he goes through, then no. They have to be like people who work the carnival, right? Can't be the Displacer Beast. There's this dwarf, Zafixo. A random clown. Yeah, it could be a random clown. I wonder if we like expand a character into two characters. Like if the Mystery Mine is run by a pair of dwarves. Jeremy Plum. What's going on, Nuker Wolf? Thanks for coming. Playing hide and seek. Pixies. Who runs this? Yeah, that's Jeremy Plum. Okay. I don't think it's a pixie. I'm drawn to Palasha and Candlefoot. But Almirage, Ring Toss. If she's a mermaid, you know, maybe she's a Triton. Snail Racing. Staff area. Yeah, this is back to this. So Thaco. There's like so many of the characters. Look at Thaco. So many of the characters are like weird creatures. It makes it kind of difficult. My instinct is to say it's the dwarves that run the Mystery Mine. But again, you would have to I think that's the safe option. I like Candlefoot and Palasha. You'd have to do Palasha as like a Triton, maybe. Yeah. Because like, how do you balance Candlefoot losing his voice if it was stolen by the hags? You know what I mean? He could just not speak, and his mother could do it. Yeah, I think that's the right. I think it's Candlefoot and Palasha. Katza, her father is replaced with Candlefoot, who still cannot speak. Well, no, but here's the weird thing. Oh yeah, that's fine though. Yeah. Because these are not his actual parents. Like in the case of Izumi, she is actually descended. Like if you do the date, she is technically descended from the Eladrin because she's like 10 years old or whatever. So she was 10 years ago. They were the ones in the village, and Mr. Witch and Mr. Light, or her and the Shadowkai were in the Feywild. This is crazy. Her father was replaced by Candlefoot, who still cannot speak. But this is considered to be normal. Her mother is replaced by Palasha, now transformed into a Triton. And I like that too, because now it's like she can walk around, right? That like the magic has turned her into someone who can exist here. Part of my idea too is that like over the course of the time, like they slowly look more and more and more like they the character they're sort of playing, the original. Okay, great. I like that. Cool. That's how the Fate Crossing works. I think that's good-ish. I'm going to pop ahead a little bit. I want to see, like, where do you land right on the other side? Because there's a chance that somehow we might get there. And I just want to see, like, when you arrive in Hither, you know, what's the, like, inciting incident? If there is one. It was divided among the hags of the Hourglass Coven. Bavlorna Blightstraw transformed her portion into a swamp known as Hither. It is a foreboding place where where daylight never fully penetrates the dark mist that hangs over the land, and where cruel and mischievous bandits prey upon stranded and lost travelers. So yeah, going right into the swamp, I think, is a little odd. I might do it, because one of them is a forest, I'm pretty sure. And like, because we're in the forest, the idea of stepping through the forest, and this is like, that's the connective tissue, I don't hate. I might go check it out. I think it's thither is where they start. A sprawling fey woodland with a decaying core. With each passing day, Granny Nightshade's presence eats away at the forest's trees and taints its denizens. The rot worsens the closer one gets to Loomlurch, Granny Nightshade's lair. I kind of think we should start here. Let me check and see what they say. Like, is there something about Hither that's important to start there? That's Downfall. We don't need that. Oh, I see. Hither. It's Downfall, a shantytown built around an ancient well. Bullywugs occupy the settlement, which surrounds Bavlorna's ghastly cottage. They step through the magical mirror. They arrive in Hither. Before your first game session is in place, follow these steps to make the character's experience as entertaining as possible. Hither is ruled by a hag named Bavlorna's Blightstraw. Read her description and skim her stat block. Read this chapter in its entirety. Look over the map of Hither. Locations marked on the map are described later in the chapter. If Bavlorna Blightstraw has anything the characters want to reclaim, anyone who had something stolen by Bavlorna gets the nagging sensation to somewhere in this realm. The character doesn't know where. The feeling fades when the character either regains what was lost or leaves Hither without recovering it. Okay. Appear atop a broken bridge called the Queen's Way, which overlooks Hither's vast swamp. After descending to ground level, they witness a balloon crash and encounter a band of singing brigands. Characters who search for a crashed balloon find it hanging from the top of a leaning tower. Okay, so it just kind of throws you into a random thing. But I bet I could just pick one of the similar style events in Thither and start there. If the characters need a guide to Thither, Or the other thing I could do, I could just change the name. No, it would have to be a forest, yeah. Because I was worried about that too, of saying that like hither, thither, yon, right? Like if you go thither, hither, yon, if you start in thither, but I could just call the forest hither and call the swamp thither. Although the map, yeah, I want to use the map, so I can't. Just guide to thither. They can find one in Downfall, home of Bevlor, and a Bright Straw. Blight Straw. I was supposed to say Bright Straw. Blight Straw. And the Bullywugs of the Soggy Court. Clapperclaw is the animated scarecrow. That's cool. Very Puddleglum, right, from Narnia. Okay, so let's look at thither and see if I can find a good opening. In thither. Navigating thither. Using thither as a reference, describe what the characters see as they forge their own path through the Splinter Realm. Shortly after arriving in thither, the characters can come upon a cave that is home to a miser who spins gold into magic items. Nib can provide directions to... Yeah, I mean, we could just start there. Like, that's fine. You know? Nib's cave. Over here. Yeah. I don't see a problem with that. Okay, so we might... Yeah, we'll cover that later. Wheel of the Feywild. Oh, it's the Peter Pan thing? Yeah, Soggy Court is great. I mean, a lot of the flavor is really good in this, you know? I have some structure problems. But I think if I had been smart and I had waited and not set this thing up, like, I like what we have, but I think the marriage of the two is a little sloppy, and I'm not super happy with that. But it'll work fine. If I had been smarter, I wouldn't be put in this position, but, you know, oh well. I think that the narrative of your kids and you become adults when you go through there and they took your parents is really strong. But yeah, trying to find a way to like mesh the two is tough. But okay, with all that out of the way, I think we might call the stream there. We normally would have about 10 minutes left, but I think that is plenty for today. Thanks everybody for coming. Let me minimize this first. I always get some delay. I tend to keep OBS minimized because it keeps the sync good. If I'm trying to both broadcast my face and talk, my computer can't really handle it. So I apologize for little blips in the sync. But thank you so much, everyone, for coming out. I'm sure this was a absolutely exhilarating stream, watching me kind of like mumble read my way through. But this has really helped me kind of crystallize what I'm going to do in the carnival. Something I'll probably have to do tomorrow when I do adventure prep for it. But again, thank you so much for coming out. If you like my content, if you like this exhilarating stream, you can subscribe to the channel down below. Go ahead and click that red button. You can also like the video. That helps it get seen by more people. If you like my content but don't want to sit through another 2 hours of me mumble reading, you can follow me on Twitter. I am at XP Web Series on Twitter, where I tweet a lot about running the game, and I tweet about lore, and I tweet about all kinds of stuff. We have a Discord you can find a link to below. We have a Patreon. I know several of you are members of our Patreon. I appreciate the support. And you can also find me on my website. I am a professional dungeon master. This is one of the games I'm running for hire. And you can find me there, and you can hire me to run a game for you. I have all kinds of stuff that I can run, whether it's whimsical, glitter, sparkled adventures, or dark gothic horror and everything in between. So check out my website. It is pro-dm.net, and you can find all the information that you need to hire me to be your dungeon master. Great. I think we are done. Oh, no, we have one more stream on Thursday in 2 days. At the same time, 2 p.m. PST. We'll be doing a monster design stream that is a kind of a companion piece to my podcast, Monster of the Week. So come tune in, check that out. We're going to do the Mind Flayer and do some rewriting on the Mind Flayer. So a classic D&D monster is kind of getting wheeled into the workshop. That's going to be a fun one. Yeah, come check us out. I think that's everything. Thanks to everyone coming. Thanks, David and Takaya and Grant and John and Nuger Wolf who popped in there. That's great, Takaya. I'm happy to hear that. I'm glad you are also being productive. Yeah, normally there's a little bit more of a back and forth in conversation. This was a lot of me just reading it and processing it. I'm excited to dive into the actual Feywild stuff. Like, the carnival is cool, and I like a lot of the constraints around it. I like the timing, because I think that really gives it this sense of, okay, it only lasts so long, right? You can kind of only do one event at a time as you guys kind of walk through it. You know, if they split up, that might be different, but it's easier to say, all right, we did the carnival, we're done, you know, when it comes to the end of it, if there's this inherent clock that's put into it, which I really like that. So I think that helps give it some structure. Otherwise, it feels really kind of almost bloated in the amount of things that they can do. And a lot of the things don't have any relevance to each other, right? Or it's like some of them, like the carousel actually feels great because it gives you some clues and it's a fun puzzle. I feel like there are a bunch of them that are just like, what if you race snails? And that's cool, but if you have 7 of those, right, it just gets to be like, oh my gosh, enough. So I like the carnival. I would be curious to dig in a little bit more on some of the other things. And I'm sure we will be doing that in future streams as well as they start to explore the Feywild. So thanks for coming out. Yeah, thanks, David. It was cool to see the Witchlight content. I am excited to read more of it. But we will be back. You're also finished. See, this is great. We're all just working together. We're all being productive together. It's a great way to spend a Tuesday afternoon. All right, well, I will see everybody in a couple of days. I'll check us out on Thursday. And until then, happy adventuring.